Greetings, greetings, greetings. Sometimes the sunset is like this: cloudy skies, gray clouds moving across, otherwise blue. Similar to our world. There's always something happening. It's like a canvas. Our planet is like a canvas. With something, somebody, painting on a normal canvas, white. But when you put something on it, it changes the color. And today we are in a war. And the war is being fought on several fronts. My last video talked about the war in Africa and the good cop, bad cop. How they pretend to work with Africa. One might say, I'm gonna help you, and the other guy is look like he's the bad guy. He's doing all the bad things in Africa. But the reality is they're both the same. Corporations in America are the same thing. All throughout the world, actually. Wherever you see American corporations, which are, I shouldn't say are, because most of them now are not in the leadership role in the world. They're still in leadership and role in America, and in some cases in Europe, but not in the world anymore. And if you look at American corporations, their motto was every quarter, they report their finances every quarter according to the law. And when they report their finances to Wall Street or whoever is financing their company, the government, they must report big profits every quarter. Profits must improve 5-6% every quarter. Otherwise, the CEO and all the upper echelons in the company would be looked at as failures. And the people who so-called supposedly investing in them, the billionaire hedge funds, the billionaire companies that work for small investors, they are pushing these people to more and more profits. Where do those profits come from? When Walmart report a quarter over quarter 5% increase in last year's profits or last quarter's profits, where do you think that money is coming from? Your pocket. Now that must happen. When you look at a corporation in, say, China, you don't see that happening. There is no force behind corporations saying you must make 1,000,000, billion, trillion per quarter in profits. The Japanese were once like that. And America destroyed the Japanese economy. Now, America is still going after the Japanese. If you look at the news, Trump is going to charge the Japanese and the Koreans, which are people are saying are America's best friends. They're going to increase the amount of tax that they pay on every item that they make in Japan and sell in the US. And Japan and Korea are complaining, we are your best friend. Why are you doing this to us? Chinese corporations don't have to follow that model. There are some Chinese corporations that are making billions of dollars, there's some are making millions, there's some are making thousands. But there's nobody back there saying, if you don't make $1 billion this quarter, we're gonna get rid of the CEO. The funny thing is about China is that their corporations act different to America. In America, the corporation keeps increasing the price to the consumer. If he makes a product for $1, and this year they're charging you $1 for that product. Say no. Let's go for a realistic price. People love iPhones. Let's say the iPhone is made for $200. That's to bring it from nothing to the store that sells it. Right? Apple controls that price from all the parts, the manufacturing and so forth. They get it made at the cheapest price. Now, when they bring it into the Apple store now, they add on certain expenses to it, and then they add on their profit. That iPhone sells for $1,600, made for $200. Let's say the iPhone store, it costs $100 to run that store. So $300 is the cost when that phone walks out the door with a customer. That's the cost of it, of making and selling that phone. But the customer is paying $1,600 for it. Now let's take a corporation in China. They manufactured their phone for $100. Sells it for $400. And when you hear an American corporation or let's say the Treasury Secretary, China is overproducing and driving the prices down. They are selling this for less than cost. No, China works on a manufacturing process so that each year they try to make this profit. The product cheaper and better. So when you see that product come to market a year ago, and you see the product come to market upgraded this year, and instead of $300, it costs $320 or $350. But the Apple product is $400 more, $500 more. Why? Didn't cost more to make it. The American corporations used to manufacture their products in America. And then they hit upon an idea. America got to go to China. Why? One of the reasons why is cheaper to build there because China has got these billions of people, billion people educated who are willing to learn and work for $3-4 a day. That's before, that's, I would say 1980. So but a corporation in America, it was, they had to pay their workers $10. So instead of selling the product for $15 and paying the workers $10, American corporations sent the product manufactured to China, paid $3, and still sell it for $15. And each year they increase the price. The economies of the United States failed while the economy of China is improving. Why do you think that the US economy failed? The credit system in America, the government, the federal government now, they estimated that the 36 billion trillion, dollars in debt. Nobody is talking about the state government, the local governments within the state. Nobody's talking about their $1 trillion debts. There are some states today that can't even give their people health care because of the debt that they owe. The fight, the war that's going on in the economies around the world. You will see Europe, even the Germans, before the war in Ukraine, they were one of the top manufacturing countries in the world. The German economy has been wrecked. Korea, the president of Korea tried to perform a coup d'etat the other day because of what he's seen happening to his country's economy. Japan now has to prepare for a war because they see China as a threat. In 1995, I believe, after the war, well, some people wouldn't call it a war. After the Soviet, Gorbachev decided, you know what, we're spending too much money military trying to keep up with the US. We're just going to have to stop this and start looking after our people. That's not what you heard on the TV and the local news. But that was the decision. It was made based on that. China now was raising up because the United States had moved all its manufacturing to China. Most of Europe had, except, like I said, Germany, a couple other countries. The United States seeing this, and all the think tanks said, hey, we got to control the oil. In March, this group of people who they call the neocons, who were the people behind all the wars that the U.S. have fought, from World War, every war, they were there. There's never been a time when they didn't exist in the U.S. And it's one of those organizations that when one person died, they recruit another. And I told you about that. They call them neocons, but they're Zionists. Some people call them Nazis, but you know, it's the same people. Nazis is the old word. Zionist is the word that's been hidden. It's been there all the time, but it's been hidden. That's like Lucifer, the devil, Satan, but Lucifer has been out there all the time. And factually, it's not even Lucifer. In every nation, there's a word for that Lucifer. That word has existed throughout time. It's just like the word obstacle. He is the one that's been the obstacle. The Zionists. They came up with a plan to seize all the oil around the planet. They're going to control all the oil so that they can control China. Fought a war for 20 years, spent 6, 8, 10 trillion, depending on who you talk to. And then Obama came along and says, hey, we can't fight this war like that. We got to stop fighting in Afghanistan and Syria and all that. And he tried to pull out, but they won't let him come out. As a matter of fact, they started wars in Syria and Libya. Started color revolutions, as they call them. But he got his way and did what he called a pivot to China, pivot to the east. And he was going to confront China to slow China down because they had no way now of stopping China. Trump now comes along and he's in a position where he's got to find some new way to stop China. And this is the position that he finds himself in now. American corporations can't compete. So what they're trying to do is force all corporations around the world to move all their manufacturing to China, from China or any other nation that manufactures top-end products to America. They find a way of getting all the resources that they can. But in a way, it's too late. Because the corporations themselves destroyed the economy of America. And now that it's too late for them, what they're trying to do is force the president into a position where he has to do what he's doing. And let nobody fool you. Trump is not foolish. Trump is a Zionist. The news will tell you something else different. They use all kind of words to describe his actions, and so sometimes he's crazy and all that. But he's not. America is in a state of rapid decline, and it's increasing. You know, it's like a car or a truck going down a mountain. At the top of a mountain, the guy put it in, goes from 12th gear down to 6th. And he's trying to slow that truck down so that halfway down the mountain, he's 3rd gear and going slow. He doesn't have a truck, want that truck to run away, can't control it. This is the position America is in. There are a few people who saw it coming. I've been warning America for years. But nobody wanted to listen because corporations were making exorbitant amount of money. But now China is going after them. China is beginning to manufacture products cheaper than they are, and not sell it to them, but sell it to the world themselves. China is now selling stuff to Africa, India, all of Asia. Their number one trading partner is China, not America. John Deere is in trouble because China is making tractors better. China has just began to make aircraft, and Boeing and Airbus are going cuckoo. Watch what's happening. I told you, I said often that this thing is going to get worse. And it will. Watch what's occurring. Watch what's being done. Watch what's being said. Why I'm telling you to watch what it's doing, because when you watch it, you become knowledgeable of it and not fearful of it. Because you know what to do, what you should do. And it's like, if you buy food before a hurricane, when the hurricane comes, you don't have to worry about What am I going to eat if this hurricane lasts 3 days? Because your house is full of food. You already got it. Hope you're having a great day wherever you are. Peace.